Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Today is May 6, 2023, and we're getting into the volume 84 of me answering your immigration related questions. As you can see, I have all your comments pulled up in front of me. As always, before we begin, I'm going to mention I'm not an immigration attorney. This is not a legal advice. All the information that I provide in this videos on this channel are directly from official government sources like USCIS and of course the Department of State with their visa bulletin. So let's start with the first comment from Patricia P. Hi, thanks for the great job that you're doing. Thank you very much, Patricia. Thank you for watching and commenting. I have another question concerning the affidavit of support. I know for a fact that I will not qualify for the support. So do they make it where I can upload my other sponsor, yes, together with mine, or do I have to just send mine and wait for 3 months for them to tell me that I need another sponsor? Thanks in advance. Patricia, no, you definitely don't have to do that. You don't have to waste your time. If you know for a fact that your income is not going to be enough, then definitely before completely submitting everything for the review, make sure that you do add the sponsor, the joint sponsor to the in your NVC portal. I want to ask you, if you have seen, you don't have to respond to this, but if you haven't seen the video that I made recently, it was just a few days ago. I made a video specifically where I demonstrate, and it goes for everyone who's watching this video. It's check it out. If you have a family petition in process, definitely make sure to check it out, because I was able to get the access to a real NVC portal case. All right, and that case has been already documentarily qualified, and it has already been sent to the interview, and basically the person already, the beneficiary in the case, already got the immigrant visa and already got the permanent resident card. It's only like 2 years old, so it's from 2021, so it's pretty fresh. But there you can actually see, if you're watching that video, there you will see the middle pretty much of the NVC portal. There is that part for adding the whole sponsor information. There is obviously the petitioner has to be the main sponsor, but you will see there is also another button right above it that says add a joint sponsor. Basically how it works is you don't just go ahead and add a joint sponsor, you request from NVC to allow you to add the joint sponsor. And you can do that if you have access to the NVC portal right now. I would recommend doing it right now, just requesting to add the joint sponsor. And the response to this can be like a couple days max. They're pretty quick to allow. I think it might even be the automated system that they have that automatically allows the access, because it's really quick. It's literally like few days. If you're doing it over the weekend, it might not happen on Saturday, Sunday. So that kind of gets me thinking that it might be a person involved there, but still. And you get obviously a notification in the email saying that NVC have approved your request to add the joint sponsor, and then once you log in, you will be able to fill out all of the information for a joint sponsor. You will be able to submit their financial documents, tax transcripts, tax returns, W-2s, 1099s, whatever it is. But yes, Patricia, definitely. Let me make sure that I respond to this, and we're going to move on to the next one from Ashley Martin. If I am petitioning for my new husband abroad, I complete this form that was asked on I-130. Yes, Ashley, you do. And where it says single, married, etc., do I put married and the location now? Yes, Ashley. Yes. So you're gonna put married. You're gonna put the location, the physical location. There will be 2 locations that are asked. Is the physical address and the mailing address. Let's say if you are currently living somewhere else other than where you actually receive mail permanently. Maybe you're outside of the United States. Maybe you're with your husband now outside of the United States. So you will be putting your physical location where you are, and then the physical address, that is, and then the mailing address would be where you are getting all your correspondence. So let me make sure that I put this, and we're going to move on to the next question from Floyd Flood. Hello, thank you so much for your super helpful videos and answers. You're very welcome, Floyd. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your comment. Your video have been really helpful. I really appreciate it. I submitted my I-589 application for asylum and withholding of removal about 2 years ago with the help of an attorney. But my statement and supportive documents haven't been... Wow. Ooh, that's really strange. Why was it not submitted? Okay, let's read. I had to terminate my relationship with them, but I can't afford a new lawyer right now either. So I would like to take a year or so before I can afford to hire a new lawyer. Could you please answer the following questions? Can the USCIS call me for an interview within a year? Very well possible. If they do that, what happens? Will they ask me to submit my statement and support documents within a short period of time, or can they just deny my asylum application even without interviewing me for not being able to submit my statement and support documents in such a long time? Thanks a lot for your help once again. Floyd, you're very welcome. Thank you for asking these questions. Very good questions. So here's the thing. 2 years ago, it has been submitted. The application has been submitted. Let me ask you a follow-up question. Have you received a notice of receipt from USCIS? Do you know for a fact that your I-589 has been accepted by USCIS? Do you have any correspondence directly from USCIS saying that, hey, we have received your I-589, here's your receipt number, your application is being processed there, or whatever, or this and this and this? That's really it. That's what notice of receipt says, NOR. Because here's what I'm thinking. Your application has been submitted fairly recent. All right, 2 years is not that long ago. And it was a little bit right around that time where Department of Homeland Security, they came out basically with the new process for handling asylum applications. And what I'm referring to is that they kind of divided asylum applications into two groups. It was a it's not fairly, it's a really unfair division. But there is one group that has been waiting for years, we're talking 5, 10, 15 years, people waiting in the pending asylum status, waiting still for their interview, and it has not been scheduled yet. And then there's a group that have recently filed the asylum applications. This group that have been waiting forever, they kind of decided to keep them waiting for some more. But the second group that recently started filing, just as of like right now, let's say if you now file the asylum application, it will be reviewed within like a matter of months, and you will be invited to the interview. You will be quickly, it will be reviewed. You will be either denied or approved, or whatever. You get the point. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because it seems to me, I'm suspecting that you should have heard already by now from USCIS if your application has been filed within 2 years, sorry. And that's why I asked if you did receive any notice of receipt, because I'm thinking maybe the application has not been submitted properly. Maybe USCIS did not accept it and they sent it back to the people that you have, the lawyer, whoever you filed it with, because they clearly are very incompetent. Your lawyer that had filed this initial application is definitely incompetent, because whenever it comes to asylum applications, you don't really have, it's not really an option to send an asylum application and then wait until you receive the request for evidence. I've seen cases where it happened. There was an emergency. They were just physically not able to supply certain documents, so they submitted an application. They waited for the request for evidence and then submitted everything. But it didn't seem like it is the case for you. So I'm not sure why they did it that way and not submit the full application package as they should have. But it's good that you're not working with them. What I'm basically trying to find out whether or not there really is an application for asylum right now that is pending. So I would recommend doing research on that. But if you do find out that there is in fact, you are in a pending asylum status, you are waiting, everything is fine, it has been submitted properly, it has been accepted by USCIS, then now I'm answering your questions. Can it be scheduled? It can be scheduled anytime. It can be scheduled in the next months. It can be scheduled in the next 5 years. We really don't know, because if you have been waiting for that long and there really is an application, it means that you've been placed in the first group with people that wait for a very long time for their interviews, instead of being placed in this newer group that you submit now and you review now, quickly out the window, basically the case. And moving further to your second question, if they do that, what happens? Will they ask me to submit my statement of support documents? Before even scheduling the interviews, they will, if it's submitted, if there is an application that is pending, they will definitely send you a request for initial evidence, because it is initial evidence. The statement, all of the supporting evidence for the statement that you provide, it is the initial evidence that is required to be with the application. That's another reason why I'm asking if you're sure for a fact that there is a pending asylum application for you, because 2 years, I have seen cases that take forever, but I haven't seen cases where they just don't review cases at all, basically, and not even are concerned with the fact that there is no initial evidence as part of the case. So with that being said, Floyd, you definitely do have some researching to do. If you could come back and let me know, what's happening, if you do have the notice of receipt, I might be able to give you a few other recommendations, like for example reaching out to a local asylum office. That might be an option. Reaching out to local elected officials if USCIS and the asylum office, they're not being very helpful. That might be the things that you would need to deal with, unfortunately. But yes, please come back, let me know. Please don't respond to, and that goes for everyone who's watching these videos, don't respond to my comment within your comment, because I don't get notifications for those. Alright, let's move on further to Trudy Bubs. Trudy, thank you for another comment, appreciate it. Hello sir, you're doing an excellent job, thank you very much. In regards to the transcript, should I get a recent one for 2023 or transcript in 2021, since that's the time I uploaded my documents and was documentary qualified? Trudy, excellent question, thank you for asking. So it's the same exact recommendation that I would give you with in regards to literally all of the most recent stuff. Yes, definitely bring the most recent tax returns, the most recent tax transcripts, the most recent W-2s, the most recent 1099s, for sure. And your beneficiary, that is, the beneficiary of the case, for the interview, that is, in a separate folder. Just in case if, for whatever reason, the counselor, whoever takes the interview, they're feeling a little bit adventurous and they want to dig into deeper in the things that they're really not supposed to dig in, because you already documentarily qualified with certain documents. They shouldn't be looking at these new documents. Just in case if that happens, you have that separate folder with all the updated stuff, and you say, oh yeah, sure, of course, here you go, this is for the recent stuff, sure, no problem. But the folder that you know that you will be presenting the same stuff that the beneficiary was documentarily qualified with, that is going to be the main thing, and of course that you will have to have to the stuff. But yes, the new stuff in a separate folder, just to be on the safe side, just to be extra prepared. It doesn't mean that you have to be like, oh yeah, there you go, I have the new stuff too. No, keep it somewhere, whatever. If requested, then you have it. All right, moving further to CSPG Mac. Hi, it works with travel history but not I-94. What do I do? Can you help me, please? Sorry you're dealing with this. So the question was on the I-94 online, obtaining the record for the I-94 online. And unfortunately, that system is very, very sensitive. Let's say if there is some space in the name, if there is a wrong letter in the name, it's not going to be able to come up. So clearly they entered the information correctly for the travel history, but something happened with the I-94. So the only thing that you can do, the only way, there's really, not much that I can do or anybody can help for you, but you would have to reach out directly to CBP. In this video, I actually show how to do that. They have the online form. Fill out the online form, wait a week or two, and if you don't, unless it's an emergency situation. If that's an emergency situation, you need this as soon as possible, then don't even bother with the online form. There is a phone number in this video that I mentioned. Just call them directly and say, hey, I need, to get my I-94 as soon as possible, and it's not coming up online, and they will be able to assist you. All right, let me put this, and we're gonna go move on further to Mempreet Rupal. I applied for B1 visa stay extension for my grandmother, which expires on June 12, 2023. Okay, June 12, 2023. So that's like a month, a little bit over the month from now. She had a biometrics 2 weeks ago. Okay, good. On 25th April. I was curious because he has a limited number. I guess she has a limited number of days, but I haven't heard anything back from USCIS. When should I expect a response from them, or should I contact if it takes time? Please respond. Manpreet, let's take a look. Let's take a look how much estimated these extensions take, and the extension is I-539. So we're gonna go to home page of USCIS, and I'll use this as an opportunity to demonstrate some navigation on the official USCIS website, which is U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services website, government website. So we're gonna go to Tools right here in the navigation menu. We're gonna go to Case Status Online, and then we're gonna go to Processing Times Information. So we're gonna click on that, and hopefully I-539 is here. Let's see. Yes, there we go. I-539 application to extend change non-immigrant status category. So we are extending. We're not changing, we're extending extension of stay for B non-immigrant. That's what we need. Now, I don't think you mentioned, let's see. No, you did not mention which service center, but I'm gonna select a few different ones. Let's try California. So 11.5 months. Texas, 31 months. Wow, that's significantly more. And then Vermont Service Center, 10 months. Okay, so Manpreet, if you can check out, use this link. Again, the tools. You go to case status, and then in the case status, you scroll down and USCIS processing times, and just put the correct information for the field office. For the service center, it's not field office, it's the service center, for where your application is being processed, and see how long it takes. Let's see. You have it expires in 1 month. If you had a biometrics appointment in April 25th, I'm assuming you probably applied somewhere March, maybe somewhere middle of February. I'm thinking that you have applied for your I-539. So you see, it takes quite a long time. So you most likely, Manpreet, you're gonna be dealing with a dilemma with your grandmother together. Basically, whether you want her to stay in the United States and wait for the results of your 539 application, or she would just abandon that application and go back to the country and then come back later and have another 6 months for the duration of stay. Usually it is 6 months. It might be 3 months, but usually it's 6 months with the duration of stay once you enter the United States with the non-immigrant B1, B2 visas. Here's the thing. It really comes down to whether her extended stay here is an absolute necessity, emergency, or maybe it's not as important to risk, all right? Because there's always the risk, there's always situation where, for whatever reason, your extension of stay is denied by USCIS. And if it happens, obviously, if she overstayed her stay, now she is in this no status outside of the duration of stay, and you can imagine how it can negatively impact her future traveling if she wants to come here again, or if she wants to apply for another non-immigrant status. Not very well. So in this dilemma, I usually recommend, if it's not an emergency, if it's not absolute necessity to stay here beyond the duration of stay, don't wait for the results of the I-539 and just travel back and forth. I know it's a waste of time, waste of resources. But I have no idea why they process so long. It's complete inconsideration for the immigrant status, because they know that duration of stay is about 6 months. So they expect people to overstay the duration of stay, basically waiting for the extension of stay. And this is ridiculous. Hopefully it changes. But Manpreet, if you have any follow-up questions, let me know. I'll be happy to answer. Let's move on to the next question from Visitation Agustin. Hello, sir. My two unmarried children, I'm assuming above 21 years old, okay, were petitioned by my US citizen husband, filed last November 2015. May I know if this year is already processed? Is a petition be denied if there is no email address? Please give me an answer. Thank you. Visitation, so I'm going to address your email question. It's not going to be denied because the email is missing, but you would have to deal with the paper correspondence between, USCIS and you, and between NVC and you. So I would definitely recommend, once you do have the full access to the NVC portal, I would definitely recommend updating it with the current email address so that you can receive the notifications. Because and USCIS, they're not so much. They're not so big on using the email. They mostly mail, sending stuff by mail. But whenever it comes to NVC, every single update, anything happens with your case, they send you email right away. So instead of waiting for a week or two to know update on your case, you get it instantly. So definitely a huge plus to have that email on file. But as for your main question, let's take a look at the visa bulletin. We have May 2023 visa bulletin. So your children are being petitioned for by a US citizen. So that's gonna be F1, unmarried sons and daughters of US citizens over 21. I believe that is, let's see, they are unmarried and above 21. Yep, so they're going to be in F1 family preference category. So let's take a look at F1. And as we can see right now, January 2017 for the priority date. So basically, priority dates that have, the petitions that have been filed and received by USCIS back in January 2017 are just now getting the full access to the NVC portal. So I'm assuming you already have the access to the NVC portal and you might already be even documentarily qualified. Why? Because for those who are documentarily qualified, the interviews are being scheduled for those who have been documentarily qualified back in December 2014. And you are November 2015. So you are just about a year, actually a year. Pretty much exactly a year. My math is horrible, but yeah, just about a year to wait for the availability of the immigrant visa. So I'm thinking probably right around now, if you don't have a full access to the NVC portal yet, it really should be happening within the next few months, because they usually give the access to the NVC portal, the full access that is, because they send you the login, the case number, invoice number, way back, and you can log into the NVC portal, but you're not going to be able to complete all of the processes that are required to become documentarily qualified. In some cases you might be. I know some of the commenters on this channel, I know they have been documentarily qualified 2 years ago and they're still waiting for their immigrant visa to become available. So it might be that you are already documentarily qualified. But if you are documentarily qualified, then still you have about a year to wait for the availability of the immigrant visa. So you're looking roughly somewhere around a year for that final immigrant visa interview. Alrighty, let me put this and we're gonna move on to the next question, comment from Marcia MacLeod. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name. Hello, when will they withdraw the vaccine? Oh, great question. So actually literally just now, like 20 minutes ago, right before I started doing this video, I have uploaded an update, some immigration news. Well, it's not really immigration news, it's immigration and non-immigration, because it's, traveling. It's not really necessarily an immigration. But as we found out, May 4, 2023, as of May 11, 2023, this is going to be the last day. At the end of the day, that's it. This requirement for the vaccine mandate, vaccine passport, that's it. It's gone. Not anymore. So if you are a non-immigrant traveling to the United States, you no longer need to show the proof of vaccination. And that goes into all the immigration categories, because if you're familiar with the family immigration, employment-based immigration, when you go through medical examination, it was a requirement as part of the whole vaccine list to get the COVID vaccine. So now it most likely will be removed from those required vaccines list. So I'm assuming that's what you're referring to when you're talking about the vaccine. But if you're referring to all of the other vaccines that are on the list that has to do with the medical examination for the immigrant visa, that would be nice if they removed all of that and didn't require any of this. But my recommendation, if you want to avoid as many vaccines as possible, is collect as much of the information, because all of these required vaccines are the vaccines that we got in the childhood anyway, you know, being in school, being in the kindergarten, whatever. So make sure to find as much of a vaccine record as you can, so that you can show it to the doctor during the medical examination and say, nope, I have all of my vaccines here, I don't need anything. Or maybe if you do need, there's just a few vaccines and not however many dozens of them that there are on the list. All right, moving further to Violeta Malobo. Looks like there are two questions. Hello, I'm a petitioner for my husband. Our case is documentarily qualified since January 2015, 2023. Our priority date is July 25th, 2021, when we can expect to receive interview letter. I have a friend who received his interview letter this month, and it was documentarily qualified January 25th, 2023. Priority date April 21st. So right around that time, right around your time at DR Congo. My husband wait for Paris embassy. We are lost. For F2A visa, the same with my friend in Congo. Okay, Violeta, so here's the thing. Because it mostly comes down to the scheduling of, you know, the interviews at the US embassies, that's why you see somewhat significantly different scheduling times whenever it comes to different countries and US embassies in different countries. I'm assuming it has to do partly with how busy the US embassy is, and also how much they were affected by all of the closures during the pandemic. So let's say if they had a lot of, you know, immigrant visas scheduled before the pandemic and then they had to close, obviously during the pandemic, depends on how long they stayed closed in that particular country, how many of these applications have been forwarded to them for future scheduling of the interviews. It's really hard to tell. So a few things that you can do, a few recommendations that I wanted to give you. The very first one is actually filling out the public inquiry form with the NVC, just to give them a little bit of a nudge and say, hey guys, you know, I'm documentarily qualified, you know, F2A, my immigrant visa should be available. I wanted to see when the interview is going to be scheduled. I'll show you how to find that public inquiry form with NVC. You will go to the Visa Bulletin link that is in the description of this video. It's a Visa Bulletin May 2023. This is the official government website for US Department of State, their Bureau of Consular Affairs. So you're gonna click on that, you will see this page, and then at the very top you will see Contact Us right here, the small navigation menu. We're gonna click on that, and then we click on US Visas Contact. And then you'll scroll down and you will see in the table at the very top row, there's email public inquiry form. It's not actually email. We're going to click on the public inquiry form. You will see again a little bit, if you scroll down a little bit, you will see online immigrant visa inquiries only public inquiry form. We're going to click on that once more and that's it. Finally, we're here. So this is the form right here. You will put your NVC case number, your beneficiary's full name, date of birth of the beneficiary, petitioner's full name, who are you, beneficiary, petitioner, your email address, and then your inquiry. And in an inquiry, you know, just be professional, polite. Just say, hey, you know, we have been documentarily qualified on this and that. I wanted to find an update because we haven't been scheduled the interview just yet. So that's number one thing that you can do. Once you get the response for this inquiry form, a lot of times it's boilerplate, a lot of times it doesn't answer anything. The second thing that you can do is you can actually submit an expedited request with NVC and ask them to, if they say, oh yeah, we're still processing, because that's most of the times that's what they say. You can request an expedited request saying, hey, I wanted to apply for an expedited processing. I'm documentarily qualified. The immigrant visa should be available. I haven't seen my husband for a very, very long time. That's an emergency. So, and try that. And the third thing that you can do, I recommend doing, is you can actually reach out to the U.S. Embassy. Your husband, that is, he can reach out to the U.S. Embassy in Paris directly by phone and see if they can give him the information when to expect that interview. Again, it is at the discretion of U.S. Embassy. They might not say anything at all. They might say, we can give you this information, which don't be upset if that happens, but it's worth a shot, because I've seen some cases where people call and they're nice enough to let them know the information. And they say, oh yeah, right now we're busy. We're still processing from way back, from 6 months ago or from a year ago. You will be probably waiting another 6 months or another year. And that really, really helps, because now you have some rough estimate. So that's it for today. Thank you everyone for asking your questions. If you have any follow-up questions, do not hesitate to ask them in the comments below. Just make sure not to answer to my comment within your comment, because then I don't get the notification. As always, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate your time. God bless, and I'll see you in the next video.